The covered California income and subsidy calculation problems for 2023. Will they affect you? Hello, I am Kevin Knaus with InsureMeKevin.com, a certified health insurance agent with Covered California. And recently, in September of 2023, I have seen a rash of issues and problems with Covered California with my little tiny book of business of my clients that are enrolled through Covered California regarding their income and the subsidy calculation. I do not know how widespread this problem is, but there are enough incidents that I have grown concerned. So one of the first cases that came to me was a client who said that they received a Covered California letter saying that they may be Medi-Cal eligible. And we're thinking, well, why? We haven't touched anything. Everything was good when they entered into Covered California in 2023. What was odd during that open enrollment period when we renewed the enrollment was that there was a verification request for proof of citizenship. Well, this woman has been in Covered California for many years, and when she did come in, she provided proof of her citizenship. So that hasn't changed. I got into the account in September, and it said they didn't want proof of citizenship. It was that her proof of income was past due. It was due 2/26. I'm thinking, I looked at the correspondence. They never asked for proof of income. The letter plainly states they wanted proof of citizenship. We uploaded it. It was done. It was all good. Well, somehow Covered California is doing some auditing. They know that there's some things that weren't right, and they're catching those. And when they did go back and correct whatever issue was there within the system, it triggered this review of the income. We did increase the income for this individual, and that's where the second anomaly occurred. We increased the income. The subsidy should have decreased. It didn't. Nothing changed. The subsidy stayed the same, and the monthly payment stayed the same, even though we increased the income. That wasn't good. I reported it to Covered California. The next case came, and the client needed to increase their income. And okay, no problem. That's pretty easy to do. Went in, added the income, submitted it, and I'm thinking, well, what were you paying before? It looks like it didn't change. And I thought, well, maybe I didn't submit the change report. I went back and I reviewed the application, and it showed two different household incomes, one ending in February and the next one beginning in March. But if you notice, if you look at that projected household income of $44,000, that's based on the first entry. So the system wasn't getting updated. Both entries were there, but it wasn't getting pushed over to recalculate subsidy. And when I looked at the enrollment dashboard, again, like the previous case, there was no change. You should always see a new date for the premium. If you've changed your income, that's going to change the subsidy. It's going to go up or down, and it'll say effective October 1. I escalated that through Covered California. They did recognize it. They did fix it. And now we do have an effective premium start date of October 1 with the higher income based on that second income entry. So that was a little disconcerting that happened, and I had to push it through because obviously some people have made changes to their income and it's not being reflected. So they are either receiving too much subsidy or not enough. The next case I received, one of my members said, hey, I got a letter saying I have no income in Covered California. Well, that means you should be Medi-Cal eligible. Sure enough, I went to their Covered California account, and there was no income. There was no projected annual household income. But when I go to the enrollment dashboard, they're still receiving $1,519 per month with zero income. How is that happening? Looking at the case history, I did notice that Orange County Medi-Cal had been into the case and determined they were ineligible for Medi-Cal. Why they were there, I don't know. But sometimes when Medi-Cal gets into somebody's case, it kind of just, flips it around. They obviously did something and zeroed out the income. But somehow that was never submitted within Covered California, and Covered California has been paying this subsidy based on a zero income amount. We have escalated that, so fingers crossed that it's all going to work out okay, but it's like, how does this happen? Confirmation that there really is a problem at Covered California came in the form of one of my clients calling me and telling me that they received notification from Blue Shield that their premium was doubling for October. What? We made an income change back in May, but we haven't touched the account. But they got that notification from Blue Shield. I got in their account, and sure enough, there was a letter from Covered California. It said, we recently looked at your account and saw that you're receiving too much subsidy, so we've adjusted it. So obviously Covered California is going through and doing some auditing because they know they have some issues within their software system. So Covered California adjusted their subsidy to what they believe it should be for the remainder of the year, and that made their health insurance premium jump by double because it reduced the subsidy so much. And now this couple is very suspicious and skeptical of Covered California. How do we know they even have the right numbers? And I agree with them. How do we know? So what I did is I put all of their information into a spreadsheet, because the way Covered California works is they estimate a subsidy based on your annual income, then chop it up into 12 equal increments and distribute that every month. So the total subsidy should equal that number. Now, when I was creating the spreadsheet, one of the things I noticed, because I keep screenshots of the enrollments, is that this couple had a silver plan in 2022, and they were set to go into that silver plan for 2023. But they wanted to change to a bronze plan, which we did. When I look at the screenshots, that silver plan that we discontinued had a monthly subsidy of $1,757. When I changed them to the bronze plan, the subsidy jumped to $1,925. The income didn't. The subsidy should have stayed the same because the health plan was more expensive than any subsidy they were receiving, so it wouldn't have changed. But for some reason, the system bumped up their subsidy. So they were receiving that higher subsidy all the way until June. In May, we made an income increase from $48,000 to $60,000, and the subsidy did go down. It should have. No red flags there, but that June subsidy was still higher than the original subsidy. So what's going on? And obviously Covered California has gone through and done an audit, and they were coming up that the couple was eligible for $21,247 for the year. And I agree. When I've done some of the number crunching and we total up all of the January through December numbers, it's $21,247. So I do believe the updated Covered California subsidy is correct, but it's a shock to the couple that their subsidy dropped so much and their premium went up by so much. And it didn't have to be, but Covered California, they're kind of like a health insurance company. They're not really going to announce anything that they've got any problems in their system because they don't want to tarnish their brand. Okay? So I get it, but none of this was announced to agents, to the wider community that they've got a problem. People only learn about it after the fact, after they have been affected, and either by being thrown into Medi-Cal or pending Medi-Cal or losing a big chunk of subsidies. And Covered California needs to be more transparent, in my opinion, and just announce, hey, we got something going with our system. We're working through it now. You may see this come down. But otherwise, I have spent so much time trying to figure out what's going on, and I haven't been able to put all the pieces together. I don't understand when an income in a particular account does trigger a proper subsidy, when it doesn't trigger the subsidy, and if the numbers are correct. I got complacent, and I wasn't being as focused, but it's tough. We just assume that Covered California up until 2023 had done such a good job with all of these numbers. Again, I do not know how widespread this problem is, but I guess we all need to be a little bit more diligent. Look at the date numbers for effective dates, look at subsidies, make sure that kind of looks right, maybe do some side calculations, because these are big numbers we're dealing with, and you don't want to have to pay back a whole bunch of subsidy that you weren't entitled to because Covered California just didn't get it right in the first place. So if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, you may leave those down below. I'll do my best to answer them. So for InsureMeKevin.com, I'm Kevin Knaus.